Hey, welcome to your Gemini horoscopes for the week of the 7th through the 13th. And it's really kind of a big week this week. Nothing is actually going on in Gemini. There's no planets, there's no influences. Even Vespa is pretty much moved out of there, not even really influencing the cusp or anything like that. Focus does continue to be on inner self triggers, inner trauma, things like that. So we're still bringing some of those triggers up, but not just around insecurity anymore, although pretty much everything that is traumatic creates an insecurity. So, that's kind of still there a little bit. But it's the outside influences this week that are really important here because, of course, we're still in a Mercury retrograde. We're moving into week 2 of this Mercury retrograde in Aries, which can be a bit frustrating. It can be a bit angry. It can be a bit overly ambitious at times. And what's actually interesting for Gemini to me is that Geminis, most of the Geminis that I know, they're constantly doing something. They're not exactly the most organized people that I've ever met, but they're constantly doing something. And it's that overachiever method that I think the Mercury retrograde is really projecting for you guys. And that's really the lesson. That overachiever trying to take on too much is one of the reasons why Geminis are known as not being really good at finishing projects, if that makes sense. So, of course, we want to debunk that theory, right? And the Mercury retrograde is going to cause all kinds of complications for you to kind of sort of bring it to your attention that you're creating this problem for yourself, if that makes sense. We also have a solar eclipse this week on Monday from about 12:30 Central Time for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We are going to be in a solar eclipse. Now, if you're in the southern states of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, that's the best place actually to see the eclipse. Anywhere else in North America, we might see little bits and pieces of it, but really we're not getting the full shebang like they are. But you don't have to see it in order to feel it because a lot of people, some people especially, can be very sensitive to that particular energy that a solar eclipse sort of emits there. So, um, but it's also in the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is all about new beginnings. It's all about rebirth. It's all about, hey, we're focused on all of this old crap, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, we should be focusing on what we're doing next. We should be focusing on the next new thing. We should be focused on our careers. We should be focused on our legacies. We should be focused on what we want to achieve in this life right now. What's our next steps? And the thing about being an air sign, Aquarius here, so I understand. The thing about being an air sign is that we overthink everything, and not just a little bit, like we overthink it to death, literally. And that gets in the way. I think that is our biggest curse. Being an air sign is all of the time wasted trying to overthink it to make it perfect because we can't possibly do it without the perfection. This eclipse energy is like, I'm going to take that out and just boom, push you forward. Let's do this. And it's a great energy to start new projects, new career ideas, new goals, anything. So during that time, like I said, about 12:30 Central Time for an hour and a half, 2 hours, if you want to manifest something new for yourself, that is the time to do it. We're just literally being given this magical time. You just have to be very careful with your manifestation. Remember, you manifest whatever is on your mind at the time. So if you're worried about specifics, where this job is going to be, blah, 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 you are getting in the way of your own manifestation. Take some time on Sunday. Think about what you really want. Write it down so you can focus on that and that alone without the questions, without the concerns, without the worry. Just a nice, clear channel is really what you want. And of course, do whatever makes you comfortable during that manifestation, whether it's lighting candles or getting your favorite stones out, what have you. This is a really good stone cleansing time too. If everybody always says only on the full moon. No, you can actually cleanse your stones at any time on any moon cycle. It's all up to you and what you're pulled to do. So if you're pulled to cleanse your stones during the eclipse, by all means, go right ahead. It's completely up to you. So we got a really good week coming up. Energetically, I believe this is going to be, pardon me, a really good week. The only thing that I would say to be aware of is everybody else. Everybody reacts to the solar eclipse energy differently. And because it's in Aries, it could bring frustrations to a height, and things like that. So you just want to be aware of that and not necessarily play into anything that you don't want to waste your energy on, if that makes sense. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link in the description. Really appreciate that. Love the coffees. You guys are awesome. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys make it a great week because it's all set up for you to be a great week. You might as well enjoy it, right? I'll see you next week. Make it a great one.